We are underway, and immediately I'm seeing a bad plane. I'm joining Pansy for this one. I did miss the kickoff cup, so fantastic stuff from there. You know, will Team Liquid come out on top? I don't know. It's a long way to go.
Yeah,
we have 96, count them, 96 games to play in this phase.
It is a marathon.
It is going to be an absolute marathon. But that in itself will bring different play styles. It will bring... First, no pressure to some of these teams. You know, that it's not your tournament format of, you know, we got 8 or 12 games.
Got to crush it there.
Got to do it. Got to get their performance. So we could see very different performances from these teams, and almost certainly we will see some early clashes.
We absolutely will be, and I'm sure the analysis desk afterwards, once we get to Erangel especially, they will be harking on about that. But Miramar is not much different. There are a couple of teams, but things could have changed. Bear in mind there has been a small break between the Kickoff Cup and Phase 2 kicking off. Teams have had time to look back over and maybe consider their options, but they don't know everything. I've been speaking to a couple of teams. They think they've got a good idea as to where teams are dropping, but there's still that essence of ifs, buts, and maybes. Is there going to be any other clashes to start with? Will this adjust through time? So far, it looks relatively calm, all on that kind of southwestern front, and I think we'll be seeing that throughout. It isn't a rush. It isn't what we saw in the Kickoff Cup, where it was very much bloodthirsty. We saw a lot of the kind of conditioning coming out from the drops. We do see the Vitality sort of area again.
Oh.
Well, I mean, a nice southern circle. Love a bit of water, but it's sadly no prison and or island, so I'm not that excited. But we know that Vitality are going to be in some scuffles throughout today, and potentially the rest of the Pro League as well.
And this is something we've learned from, obviously, the scrims that have been happening. We have a couple of clashes, so Vitality and Reciprocity on your screen at Minas General, as we expect this to carry on as well as we move to Erangel. For whatever reason, these guys have decided they are going to fight. We also expect another clash, which will be TSM and Unity. Obviously, Unity coming into this one. Whether it's going to carry on, obviously, it has been happening in the scrims, and you never know. Once it goes live, teams maybe, you know, they've been having that little scrim battle and then decide, okay, didn't really work out, let's adjust.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? As much as we do look at scrims as a little bit of a testing ground of what's going on, they're still just scrims.
They're still just scrims,
That's all you can say about it. You know, the best practice will be in the server, and with this many games, you can expect the teams to be able to work it out as they go along, because they aren't in that instant pressure situation we saw throughout, you know, I guess the end of Phase 1 to a degree, and the Kickoff Cup.
And obviously, we were just talking to Squeaky, we were having some lunch, and even talking to him, he's like, he said even the fact is that with 96 official games, that's almost going to become the scrim mentality. You're going to see teams testing stuff, trying stuff in the official games, because there's a cushion, basically. You've got a cushion. You can try things, and you know, if it suddenly works, everyone's going to be like, "Whoa, that's the meta shift." Yeah,
and I think meta is going to be a big discussion throughout the early part of this phase as well. And I don't mean in game; I mean throughout Phase 2. Is what do we see teams now doing? And as much as I know a lot of players at home, we will see this posturing happening. It is still fairly divided. There is at least a Car 98 on shift, so there could be a knock. But you'd imagine there's going to be at least an answer. So we'll keep tabs on this if it does continue forward. Again, I'd be very surprised if someone gets hugely caught out here. It might be player error, maybe a little bit overconfident. We'll find out. I'm sure they're very aware of each other. It's not a surprise to any of these players that they are in this spot. So I can imagine the loot routes are already considered. But again, meta change doesn't happen instantly. You can look at patch notes, you can theory craft, but to action it and implement it in your game style, I think it's going to take time for some of these teams. And that's what we'll eventually see coming in. Someone does something and goes, oh, wait, that works. All right, let's all suddenly get onto it. So we might see it in, I guess, patch 28 to a degree. I don't think it's the biggest change, if I'm honest, but it might adjust some teams, especially with the Des touching it lightly, the loot situation. We'll see if that does become a factor down the line.
Yeah, I guess the biggest one, obviously, from this, you know, with 27 having the big bolt action changes and then 28 balancing out, the biggest change from this phase to the last is whether we'll see more of those bolt actions. I think we're probably, and even talking to some of the players, we're probably going to stick to maybe just the one a team. And I'm not talking about because of the game, which you guys know, you know, the bolt actions are very strong right now. But the fact is, with the point structure the way it is, it doesn't allow, because you've got to get that flush, you've got to get the kill. But on the converse side, you can't change the point system to be just a knock because then we're going to have 64 players with bolt-action rifles. So it's a tough balancing act.
It really is. And I think we'll still see the specialists running them. I was talking to Chris out the front, just catching some air before the games kicked in after the practice.
Catching some air outside.
Yeah, fresh air. It's very good for
fresh
you.
air, right.
Now, the point is that he was saying, you know, again, he's happy with this. He gets to use them a little more. But the thing is, other players are around. Everyone's just kind of chilling. And it was, as soon as we hear an M24 or a Car 98, especially in the old patches, we know it's you guys.
Yeah.
And it was them in the practice game. They're like, yeah, that was me. That was me with the M24.
That was me.
And
That
they
was me,
instantly
yeah.
know it was all these players. But maybe with this patch making it slightly more viable, you might see some of that. But we are seeing the early rotations beginning. Some of the teams kind of condensing again in that central area. A couple of them really opting early. Team Liquid, not too surprising. This is what we saw them do. They're very, very brazen in what they want to take. They look for the prime cut of beef, and they go and take it. We are seeing the first bit of blood, though, between Vitality and Reciprocity, and it is flushed. That's the bigger thing here. I expected not, but look at this range coming out of it.
It's my fellow match reporter. He's been taken down early on. That's the effect I have on people, I'm afraid. Ibby's just run over Gemty, so that's a bad situation with Set lighting him up with the Mini 14. He's out of bullets though, so that's going to give Jeems a chance to get inside, but Ibby has been knocked as well, so 2 down in the smoke. Ibby was going for the revive on Gemty there, and I think this is going to be Team Liquid, the kickoff winners, in serious trouble early on.
Do you know what? If they're going to come in with confidence, they just want to keep playing their playstyle, I'm happy to see it. There is always the risk you get punished and they're suffering off the back of it. It happens. We do see them committing for revives, which some teams will leave them out to dry, but it is the CrowCrowd really looking to kind of turn the screws on this. Team Liquid could be struggling. You can already see Samty and Jeems trying to set up good kind of positions, but with the nades, and also you'll see the UI changes. Well, that's a nice little shot from Jeems, going to ward him away, but it might be all for nothing. Gemty and Ibby are bleeding out completely and utterly. There's not much saving them at this point.
Oh,
stole that
beautiful
stolen.
Jeff nicked it.
Where's that from?
Stole it away. I don't see where they came from. That's further off the side. Oh, they're way away on the hill. That is a long-range shot. They've managed to steal that one away from. So they've obviously kept the smoke wall towards CrowCrowd. Got an opening behind them that they crawled into, and the Digital Athletics are like, thank you very much. Jeems almost going down. So, yeah, it's got to that point where they can't commit any more resources to this one. They've lost the 2 players. They did get the center point, and this is obviously the age-old argument. Oh, Samty's just been knocked by a doozy as well from Na'Vi. Team Liquid are being picked apart. They're down to 1.
Jeems is on 1 hit point. That's all he's got, and he's got so much attention. And I guess the big thing in my mind right now is these teams don't feel scared because there is that
Now we're pushing it. Look at Senya. Senya's going.
Yeah, Senya is going to try and flood in this as quickly as possible. Jeems, he's got fire from every single location. You've got the northeast CrowCrowd, south side, Na'Vi now coming in. Senya's going to confirm that, surely on Samty. That's some good points there.
Yeah, and that's Jeems' car rolling down the hill. They lost the tire on it, so he's no longer got a vehicle. He's stuck in that shack, which I think was it a wood shack? I didn't actually see whether it was the shanty shack or not, but either way, he only had 1 first aid kit as well.
That's a beefy shot. Big fan. And the follow-up.
And he switches onto headshot Jeems. Oh, I mean, that right there is why a doozy was picked up by Na'Vi. You know, he absolutely showed it. He was one of the highest damage dealers throughout Phase 1, 4 red diamonds. And now Jeems down to, well, just a wing and a prayer. And he had 1 first aid last time I saw him. So if we ever get first person, we'll see what he's down to. But he is very much in a stuck situation. The only benefit he has is inside the center circle point.
Great.
That's the only thing he's got going for him.
Silver lining you're looking for, right? Again, teams will be more confident. We saw a couple of teams not having that much aggression, not kind of sending in players as quickly as they can to get those flushes, a little bit more aware of potential, I guess, downfalls of that sort of play, and being very hyper aware of all that sort of stuff did kind of cost them a little bit in the Kickoff Cup and in the Global Summit Finals. That aside, we're seeing more suffering happening to Reciprocity up in the north. They really haven't been able to get much respite here.
Yeah, they lost Scoom already, and it looks like they've come into the backside of Unity. Meanwhile, we're seeing NIP clash in. Looks like they're going to get a push on Reels. Reels is going to get himself healed up. He's got Drayden in support from on the ridgeline, but Gaxi almost certainly will find him. It was a 1-for-1 trade, though. Both taking each other out. Meanwhile, you can see poor old Haxetti. He's stuck inside himself in a little shack while Rafi tries to help him out. He's going to be able to hop out and make a move. So Reciprocity still with just the 1 down. They got the revive back on, so they're back to 3, and that's Reels being confirmed there. So the Knights losing 1 early.
So let's talk about FaZe as well, because they're a big team that caught our eye during the Kickoff Cup, during a lot of the end of, I guess, Phase 1 as well, and a couple of the other events, they kind of stepped away from the spotlight. And actually, yeah, big fight on the southern side. What is going on here? G2 have just kind of flooded in towards the Raise Your Edge guys, but they've both gone, this does not benefit either of us. Let's get the hell out of here. TSM are not far away either. But yeah, FaZe, we're talking about their rotations, and actually, because of this circle, I guess it's paid off very well for them being on that kind of western side of things. They've actually managed to get all 4 players into good spots. They've gone for a very wide 2-2 split, so that's very good news for FaZe. Certainly a team we'll be looking at in the long run here. ENCE as well, a team that, oh God.
We're seeing this. We're back at it. We're seeing teams that have had a break. Let's put it that way. Teams that have had a break. Driftly, by the way, M24, we've heard that he's going to be the man that will be rocking that bolt action, so we'll keep an eye on that. We just saw James, by the way. There he is. So got in his vehicle, went, oh, God, the tires are all gone off this one. All right, okay, let me see what else I can get. I guess he's gone in to loot the what remains of Samty now. M19 bound on the south side. Now, M19's position could pay dividends, M19 and Na'Vi, because they could be the gatekeepers to both Raise Your Edge, G2, and TSM.
Yeah, potentially that southern side is going to be theirs to keep. We do see a couple of posturing shots. It will give away the game, give Na'Vi some attention, but they seem very much wanting this. They have been very aggressive. We saw that push from Senya happening. Clearly, they are up for action. We saw this again not too long ago. This very, very aggressive, scary Na'Vi. When they had nothing to lose, they became terrifying. They took as many fights, very similar to the Liquid approach when they had the nothing to lose sort of mentality. Sadly, Liquid have lost almost everything, but that's beyond the point here. M19 FaZe, similar-ish ideas on positioning, at least with 2 of their players. M19 still have, I think, all of their players apart from 1 in 1 position yet. Elite player is kind of your scout out on his own for some reason, just taking his time. Outside of that, though, everyone else, again, condensing. That southern side, somehow, people haven't lost that many casualties coming on that southeastern road.
I mean, it's Miramar. It's a big old map, so there's a lot of space. But yeah, going back to the Na'Vi, I really like the Na'Vi lineup. There is a boatload of potential within it. I just hope they can get through it. Well, Blaston's going to just smash Crammer in the back here. Shadow's down. They're going to lose another.
Oh, trade.
Turn on him. Nasus managed just to swing around and get the trade, but I think the damage is already done here. They are a long way away. They've gone for that 2-2. You can see that Smoke's not going to be able to reach. And there's nobody else going to be able to save Blaston here, I don't think. Yeah, he's too far away. The rest of his team are well out of it.
Okay, so pickup should be coming in. I don't see anyone able to stop that.
Tyzerin's coming in, but he's miles away. Look at him, he's in the distance.
Not a hope in hell. So it looks like Unity will just kind of cut their losses and move into the circle, potentially try and set up for Vitality down the line. Love to avenge their fallen teammate, but again, that's if Vitality head kind of straight into the circle.
So let's see who's benefited from this. Winstrike, obviously, on the western side of the circle. They've been given a crate. They're now going for, they're already on the move, so Tim is already trying to get a wider spread. That compound that they're in there is such a nice position. If it swings their way, they are looking golden for game 1 at the moment. We'll see where the circle does shift, though. It is going to go completely away from him. James is like, yes! Right now, he's so happy about it. TSM also in a good position because Gustav had gone for that rotate alongside him. And I can see Rory and Wookie coming up as well. So they're going to get themselves in a nice position. This is Blaston from earlier on, catching Vitality in the back.
Yeah, but Digital Athletics here, they're a team that I am no longer underestimating. One, they have their full lineup now. Iroh is back in there, so they're a scarier team. Even with the stand-in, they were very strong, and they played positions well. We started to question their late-game decision a touch at times, but I mean, that was being nitpicky at this point. These guys are very, very strong, and they're already adjusting here, so my eyes will look towards them late game.
They're also a team that's very close, I've found. Every time I talk to them, you know, they're really good to talk to, and they're definitely a close-knit unit, I would say, which has probably come from being the only Turkish team here, right? I guess that's what it is. They've got a lot of pressure on them from their region, so they've come in certainly well. James is about to get found. This is going to be D-Mash clashing in. He's with M19 this season, of course, this phase, and Sigsy finds one. That's going to be D-Mash flushed out. Remember, elite player, he was the man holding the anchor as well. He's already been taken down as well, along with the Observer's PC.
Just see smoke pluming in the background. Welcome back, boys. Winstrike being warded away by FaZe. FaZe early did have such a good position for. Now they have to work their way back in on that western side. Winstrike are going to be going in towards the Na'Vi position, and not a surprise there, though. It's actually Na'Vi finding some of the kills on elite player. Chris, however, in the kill feed, and with the classic stylized gun he loves using.
Yeah, and Chris actually, well, Brexco being taken down, he's quite away from his team. Chris is going to try and come down and help him out. Here's Winstrike trying to pressure the hillside position, but Navi have the height advantage. Yeah, Brexco got yoinked by Rory there. Also seeing Nasus running over Kramer. Now, as far as I know, Vitality have got all 4 members back on their feet, so that should be a simple revive for him. James, look at him in the little foreground there. Sorry, sneaking away. He's still on his own. He's still dead center. CrowCrowd are taking shots on him, though.
James is so dead.
Oh, I don't think he's only first aid left. I think
Unless he picks some up. No,
he's gone.
Liquid. I love the way they're literally untouchable in the last time we saw them, and now they're the first team out. Anyway, a bit of a crash comes in. We are seeing NIP being pressured just about everywhere. And Orange, the one to find Gaxi, but the rest of NIP weren't exactly that close by. They're still in the further back buildings. They're kind of split out here, so there could be a trade potential down the line. But Unity are pushing into this one. They're again moving from the north after suffering that casualty earlier to the Vitality team.
Where's he lost the snow? Where's his snow gone?
I don't know.
He's just orange now. He's now just a fruit. He used to be orange snow. That's nice. But anyway, NRP, lost that 1 man, and that leaves MBS on his own. Reciprocity playing very much on edge, and speaking of 1 man, that's 2 down. VOD, they might pressure this one. Unity coming into this one as the #1 team from the 2nd division, or what do you want to call it, 2nd division? I guess we could. In the old money, and the circle shifts. CrowCrowd are delighted with this one, as are ENCE, Plum Center.
I don't know what I'm seeing. This feels like a completely different game than the last couple we've seen. ENCE actually central in circle, not losing out on people randomly on rotation. FaZe with 4 still alive. I don't get it. Please, what's happening?
Oh, he's got away.
Moldoy and Senya on the run. Time to back away, be a little bit calm, but 2 kills already. I think one of them was a bit of a steal coming in as well for them, but really big impression from Na'Vi to start with. I know a lot of people were not necessarily questioning the lineup, but looking to see them step up. And they're doing that recently, and VOD's just been confirmed.
Oh, this is
what's left of NIP?
Look at the rotations that are going on here. So this is Unity, obviously up in the north. They're coming in behind NIP. G2 and Razor Edge and TSM all sort of getting a little cozy down the south. The wide edge of the circle, which we just saw with Winstrike and Na'Vi, M19, all on this far side. They've got to sort of push in towards Digital Athletics. FaZe are going for it. They're blasting along the road. I reckon they're going to go straight into CrowCrowd. I'm almost certain, unless they go for the ditch on the edge, which they are. But look what's on the hill above them. It's the Pittsburgh Knights that might catch them out as well. So we see all this. You guys can as well at home. They have, of course, the map streams available to you guys as we see the tab laying down the shots on towards Digital Athletics, not really connecting with anything though.
No, and the rest of NIP still trying to do what they can. Miraku there laying down as many shots as he could try and get to connect, potentially finding a tire, or just securing location, considering that Unity have been very much on their heels throughout a lot of this thus far, but that southern side, I can't get away from it. TSM in between Razor Edge, ENCE to the north. You've got G2 to the west, and keep in mind, Digital Athletics, you probably see some of this, we are seeing the push-up happening. Rory being pressured here, Wookiee's on the other side, but do the nades find them? Rory is somehow standing. I do not know how he's alive after that barrage coming in.
I think ENCE just naded them from behind as well. I think that was ENCE getting involved as well. Truthfully, just tossing one out there into the ditch, seeing what he can get. There we go. There's the flank coming out. Fast rail around the side. Wookiee's going to toss out a nade. He's cooking it up. He manages to get an angle on this one, though. Rory down to nothing, but fast rail out of bullets. Get the reload in there. Caught out by the nade. We saw Wookieee cooking it. He got took down by Chris at the same time, though.
Oh, that's big.
And then comes from behind. Razor Edge. Nasus steals one away as well. That's actually on Michael in the top there. So TSM are suddenly gone.
Yeah, TSM just got completely pushed out. This Na'Vi, though, are certainly up to the challenge, but Winstrike are pushing into this one. It's a bit awkward. The trades are there so far, and keep in mind that Moldoy has position with support behind him. Bestaloch and Senya are watching this. Look at these angles. He can just play off this one. Winstrike still need to move forward. They have the blue on their back. The pressure is unrelenting here. Look at Moldoy. This is smart. He's reading their next steps, and he's going to angle perfectly for this, unless they go for the longer, deeper southern rotation, which they might have to do.
Yeah, really nice there play there. Holding the angle on the right. It's like, right, okay, I've got cover from the left and the right side from both Senya and Bestlock, so he just runs through the building to try and close that angle down, but now you see G2 catching Dimmy down. Reciprocity, they're the next target. Look at all the gunfire coming in. Third party, fourth party, fifth party. FaZe want a piece of it. G2 getting some of it. Even the Knights getting involved, and Reciprocity just getting picked apart coming down the hillside.
They certainly are, and Moldoy is going big. He couldn't convert on the last, but his teammates were there, but he might have just lost his life for this one. I don't don't know if they're going to push back into it, but an excellent hold, and it is confirmed. Winstrike have gone down completely and utterly. That southern side is a keg waiting to explode, as again, they're going to push themselves closer and closer. Vitality, Unity, the rest of NIP that remain, FaZe, Na'Vi, all have to find a way through now.
Yeah, and FaZe, obviously, you know, with the Knights getting involved in that fight, their position was given away to FaZe. So FaZe realized they have a problem above them. We're seeing Unity and NIP still continuing their battle. It's been a running battle across the map as the circle continues to shrink. But now they've got a problem. They are on the far side of the circle shrink, and they have CrowCrowd with an open shot. Look at them in the background there. An open battleground just to take shots on them. Unity realizing they're getting caught, and they're also getting shot from the Knights now from up on the hillside.
Yeah, they are in severe trouble. You can see the UI update now with the smokes. Those will turn red when they're almost done for you, so you can keep an idea of how much time Unity have of some semblance of safety, and it's limited as it is. It certainly does not hold it. Digital Athletics on the move. They're adjusting themselves as well, moving kind of slightly further away from FaZe. But FaZe aren't stopping. Uber's kind of pushing this one.
Yeah, he's the one that's forcing them away, almost shepherding them with the grenades there, forcing them into a closer environment. Now Na'Vi are going to engage on them. The Knights up on high. They are on the far side of the circle, and then they have to get moving. So they've jumped in a vehicle. Here we go. Snark's off. He's going to go in. I think it's a bike they're going to try and send it with. As you see Unity trying to push in straight around the back. Tizerin has been down and taken down. That's Kemba doing work for CrowCrowd. We may well see a much more improved CrowCrowd, I feel. They are a team that definitely have benefited well with Sandpipe. And CrowCrowd collecting him as Chris gets down. And Sound, well, actually Fast Rail it was that went down. Tell a lie.
Yeah, Fast Rail a little bit brazen in positioning, maybe getting caught out there, desperate for that pressure. You do see Minox there finding one back on towards Vitality. So Raise Your Edge are being pushed in on this edge. You've got M19 on one side and a lot of eyes towards you. Chris is down to a very limited amount of health. He needs to get a heal off. I don't know what sort of position he's currently in. Back up to full health. But again, their position is very, very scary. You have Vitality towards the northeast. You have G2 on the swing with M19. So that's going to be the next fight for them coming in any second now, as the rest of Unity are just being chunked down by the blue.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue they came out on top in the battle versus NIP, but it's a battle that cost them both because Unity go out in 11th place. Now we see G2 finishing off M19 there, Kate landing the nades. But, you know, the team that's benefited the most from this is ENCE. ENCE has sat relatively central. They've had this compound for the whole time.
Look at these nades from Raise Your Edge. They just cleared out
Vitality. Vitality, yeah. They've been going out for a while, but G2 are catching him in the back. Meanwhile, we see FaZe and Digital Athletics making the push. Fuzzface finishing off the main man, Iroh down, and they're going to see them pushing on this. They've got to be careful, though, because look in their background. It is Snark and Wanted looking for kills.
I do not doubt Digital Athletics anymore as individuals either. These guys can frag out. I know they can. And actually, ENCE still hold compound, so do CrowCrowd, but everyone else needs to get moving. That southeastern side is going to be rough as anything. There is a bit of territory. Nice work from Chris to get moving early on that. He'll be holding position, but now here's that pressure from the other side of Digital Athletics.
I wonder who's doing the calling for MV, but ooh, Trifoli. M24 and M24 going on here. This is a sniper battle. The bolt actions of patch 28 in full effect. Meanwhile, Bestlock comes in with a nade. That catches Sixmo. Digital Athletics caught in the back there as they move on. You can see that is in the far ground. This is the circle right now. The central spot, pretty much no man's land. Sixmo finished off by Senya as Mert and a beautiful death remain the last two, and FaZe are piling up on this. You can't see them. They're coming in from the bottom left hand of your screen. As soon as we pan out, you'll see FaZe making the move.
I'm worried that you're going to get that messy fight in these situations where it's going to be FaZe cresting, Na'Vi seeing it, but Na'Vi need to move in. Digital Athletics somehow might just survive in a really uncomfortable, weird way. I'm not sure, but you're seeing those third parties happening. If FaZe keep pushing this way, they're going to be very open to the Knights, to Na'Vi, towards potentially G2 if they want to turn attention towards this. Look at FaZe. They're all clustered up.
They've got this little ditch. Look, they've got this little ditch, and like you say, it's good that it's given them the cover from the Knights, but if Digital Athletics have a single nade, it could really put dividends at the end of FaZe Clan there as Chris tries to mosey his way down. Raise Your Edge picking up a lot of kills out of this one, but now I feel that their time is coming to a close. We'll see whether Udyr can maybe toss that nade in. Chris has got a really nice flank there as Chris tries to get his position. Kate's going for the flank. Here comes the nades I was talking about. It's Digital Athletics, though, with all they're eating them.
Wow, somehow CrowCrowd have got eyes towards Na'Vi. Bestelos just got found, so this is actually pretty important towards that fight. That keeps Na'Vi at bay, which actually alleviates the pressure from FaZe, who can kind of try and work. Oh, the reaction on this is so good. excellence from the Finns. Really nice work. Na'Vi did go down. Split between G2 and CrowCrowd. This keeps that pressure towards Razor Red, so they are not out of the woods yet. G2 took the early momentum, got into the circle with Chris, and that will allow them a route. That'll allow them an avenue to approach.
FaZe have turned around onto the Knights. That's flushed them out because he trading going down. Snark, the last man standing with Wanted over the road. Not really anywhere to go for him. Is stuck over that roadside. G2, as you mentioned, they have took that advantage while Razor Edge were just medding up and reloading. G2 used their positional advantage. It's a tricky position because they're pretty much open. FaZe have just pushed in. They've gone straight down, but look, now they're getting caught out. Razor Edge get eliminated. They get picked off by both Rustamar and Kaint. A beautiful death gets finished off, so Digital Athletics 6th place for them. FaZe now with 3 alive, ENCE with 4 alive, CrowCrowd still with a 4. The Knights, they're split heavily, but they've still got 2 alive, and the circle goes to no man's land. G2, the only ones in it.
Yeah, at the moment, my eyes instantly go towards ENCE and CrowCrowd as having such a big upper hand. I do say that at least G2 have got themselves early into a good position, potentially. I'm wondering about that southern terrain, if potentially FaZe could fold into that, or if ENCE would do the same. I'm not sure if it's as viable going forward. It's a lot of open territory here, and, well, Wanted is living up to that name of his, and in all the wrong ways. Tab has an angle, it's set to claim it, and flush straight away, so the Knights are starting to be chipped away at.
Yes, Nark's the last man standing. He's down on the roadside, but CrowCrowd and FaZe continue to trade blows. And while FaZe are doing this, G2 are sneaking up on them. Chris and Udir have snuck right up underneath FaZe Clan. You can see Udir is about to crest over that hill.
Smart. This
Chris is creeping
really
up on
good.
them.
Good, intuitive, aggressive, smart play. It's dangerous, but Udir's got there. That is the dagger in the back. That's the blow they least wanted to happen, is someone to slow them down when they knew they'd have to kind of pinch their way forward. Now, ENCE are getting some pressure. They're not without trouble.
And Kaint's holding the hillside at the back, but he's got Rustamar pushing him on the flank there. Udir again with another good spray down. ENCE forced to go down. Fuzzface going to try and cook that nade out. Trifley was caught. He was one of the side flankers. He actually tried to get in the middle there, but he was caught by Kaint. Rustamar's about to catch him in the side there as he tries to push. CrowCrowd have now taken center circle. Udir's going to try and come over. The nades are coming his way, but he's preferring to stick with the assault rifle and try and see if he can make that work. Meanwhile, Znark's just watching it all play out.
Yeah, this is great for them. I'm surprised that ENCE actually had so much pressure coming in. And look at the ground the CrowCrowd hold. This is kind of deadly, but don't get me wrong. Mikas clearly has an ability to dig them out of these bad situations, and the nades are helping out. Holding onto their utility quite late has certainly paid off. You've got Chris and Kaint falling away from that fight on FaZe for circle position to a degree. They've fallen off that.
Yeah.
They were right on that kind of lip, the little ledge that rolled down off the hill, but it slowed down FaZe here.
It was Kaint that had obviously the aerial view. He was up on the hill. He managed to take down Trifley, who went for that central position that CrowCrowd now hold, but he obviously gave the warning. It's like, guys, we've completely lost center here. We've got to back away from this fight.
Yep.
It's not a fight. You know, we're up against FaZe Clan. It's a 3-3 situation right now. CrowCrowd are the team that everyone's looking towards. They still only have 3 themselves. Snark got inside the circle, so here we go. Phase 8, it shrinks right center. Exactly what all the teams want as much as they can. They sick to death of these hard shifts. They want those center circles, and it's worked out in CrowCrowd. Look at this. They're positioned there. They realize, okay, we are the focal point. We need to just back away a little bit and give us some cover.
But the terrain's quite nice because teams have to commit over the top to peek them. That's one benefit to it. They have a little bit of a dip, that nice deflate that runs through. ENCE do not have that. ENCE are in trouble. They have a lot of eyes towards them and they know it. Hence, they're moving now. They're looking for avenues to approach, whether it move to the north, whether it try and shuffle south. Set is already watching this. He's in a really nice alerting position to the others. He can relay the information, and that's Squeaky being punished for it. This is the problem with ENCE. Sadly, their position is just going to be running out of options, and Set is looking to try and confirm this. He can't see the player. He has no idea where Mikas is.
And Mikas got away with that. Senpai's coming with him. There we go. Kemba lands the nade. So now ENCE down to 1. Rustamar, the last man standing for them as Mikas gets flushed out. G2 and FaZe still looking at one another, but it's CrowCrowd at the moment that are causing problems for everyone. And Snark, who's still snaking his way in, may benefit highly from this one. Set, though, looks like he's on a flush. He's going around the edge of the circle looking for players.
I like this move from CrowCrowd, but it's quite early. They're sweeping north to west. I get worried because snakes happen, and we might see that here. They are being aggressive, they're being assertive, and that's a lot of things we like to say about teams in the right way. But this gets scary, because look at Snark's positioning here. He could potentially undo a lot of this. The nade is excellent from Hello Senpai, finding Uber, but still, I'm worried that other teams can now take the momentum to move forward. Look at Snark, look at this potential dagger in the back.
Look at him, he sees them, he sees them. Does he go for it? Is he just thinking, you know, there's 11 alive, is this too risky? But he's got a clear headshot on Kemba there. He sees Senpai as well.
Close.
He sees Set to the right, so he knows there's an entire squad right next to him.
If he sees one not come in, he's gonna pounce.
Meanwhile, they were seeing CrowCrowd. They're picking FaZe Clan apart. Now, Senpai got down. Is he going to take this moment? Senpai has taken down FaZe Clan. The Knights are benefiting from this one. G2 have also moved around, so G2 have got a better position. Rustamar, don't forget about him. He's still alive out the back there.
Oh,
as
he's
we
just
live down
been
to
seen.
our last 4.
He's just been seen by Udyr here. He's been forced
Go
into
for
the
it.
fight. And yeah, this is the time to start. Oh, excellent timing on the revive. He punishes 2. Now there's only 1 standing for CrowCrowd. It's going to be Set. Set just went off, though, on FaZe as an individual. Now you're seeing G2 moving in. This is the perfect situation. You want to be assertive in these moments. They have a great line to work from as well.
Look at Chris's move, yeah.
Look at this positioning. This is the assertive sort of play I love to see. Snakes are always deadly, but this is very good work.
Yeah, we're seeing the 2 snakes, but it's these guys that are on the move. Chris has just took a move to get the central point, of course, phase 9. It's going to go there. So that's the man that has to move to. And Udyr and Kane are just going to come around and flush them out as soon as they start watching those crawls. Obviously, we're going to be watching Set and Snark. Snark's got the blue on his back. He's already on his feet, so he's going looking for it. Set staring straight at him, so expect him to take him down. But there is a smoke being popped out. So now everybody's going to look towards that smoke. So Snark's position, very much known. Set should see him in a second. He's still got his backpack on Snark. He should have dropped that by now. Oh, he's going to come out on top. Snark does. That is big plays, because that's, you know, Knights were down and out.
He's got a little rich here.
They're looking at, what, 9th or 8th? And now they've managed to get himself into top 2. Incredible.
Really nice play. He can make this more costly as well. If G2 get overzealous, he can get some points away. I doubt he's going to get the win unless they go 1 by 1 and feed. But again, this could be potential points coming out. This is really, really nice. There's 2 of them on the right, 1 split to the left. Really nice approach. Chris has to be able to hold his own here. Snark might just try and play it out as late as he can to be a nuisance at this point, and that's what he's doing. They have center circle. They've got everything going their way. They're seeing these smokes come out.
But this is good. Look, he's smoking off, and he's just cut off Udyr and Kane. So basically, he's almost down to a one-on-one versus.
That's what he has to create.
Chris,
3 one-on-ones, which is very unlikely.
Through the edge of the smoke. He's going to take a hit from the blue here. It's got to be careful. But 6 kills so far for the Knights. For a team that came down from the hillside, he's getting picked apart. Chris will find him, and it's G2, the winners.